She spoke a lot today. Want more than that?
It's so pretty.
Alright.
It's all green and... Stroyo kore.
Fire hydrant. I'm not gonna even know that.
I don't even know how to say fire hydrant. I can read it. Your head is in the way of my camera.
Mine?
Yeah.
Oh, man,
今大丈夫よ。すみません。はい、そうです。
一人部屋じゃないのがすごい。みんなとだったから。
It's a very quiet road.
近くしたら一人だとか。
うわ。This is more residential stuff though. There's not as many stores here. I should have taken more video of the place where there's stores. I probably haven't been pointing at much this whole time, so I've been looking where I'm walking. I don't want to get run over, you know? You and me, man, we have a lot of things to talk about. A lot of stuff has happened. So, yesterday was just, I put together a whole bunch of clips of things that happened to me. However, I didn't actually give much context to them, so I hope to fix that today. I took some footage of this with my iPad because my camera was dead at the time. However, after I got on the plane, but before we arrived in Tokyo, so like after we got on the plane and we were departing, there was about probably 15 airport employees, and they were all lined up outside the plane, like on the tarmac. And they all had signs, and as we were departing, they all flipped around and they said "thank you" on all the signs, like in order. They spelled that out. It was really crazy, and I've never seen anything like that before. But that was kind of just the start of the hospitality that I've seen in Japanese culture, especially compared to American culture. Just in the last 24 hours alone, basically. I mean, on the flight, there was all sorts of, I don't know how to say what I want to say. Well, for starters, we had 2 hot, cooked, ready meals that were both fantastic. You actually had a choice. I had a chicken cacciatore, I think, and then which was in like a Japanese, no, that was breakfast, which actually came after lunch. So we had lunch, and then we had breakfast, because of the time zone changes that we were going through. Lunch was a Japanese bento, which was awesome, and then the chicken cacciatore was for breakfast, and it was also very, very good. All the flight attendants were extremely polite, bowing whenever they took like a request from you. Just very, very nice. It was really refreshing compared. I mean, flight attendants actually have a track record of being very good. However, these were over the top good. It was amazing. By the way, oyocha. I've had probably 6 of these today. Yeah, it's kind of a bad thing. I have another one right here for when this one runs out. But so also on the flight there was each thing had a TV, of course. However, when I went to check in, for some reason they were like, "We want to move you seats from here to here." I'm like, "Sure, that's fine. I'm not really sitting with anyone, so I don't care." Turns out they moved me to premium economy for free from standard economy. I literally had 2.5 feet of legroom, like 2.5 feet. Like 2 of my feet plus a bit. I could fully stretch out my legs, and I'm tall. That's like unheard of on a plane, so that already put me in a good mood. However, I was able to watch, I watched Iron Man 3 on the plane, which was awesome. Well, it was good. I won't say it was awesome. However, the whole, like, all the fight scenes in the movie were crazy good. So that was really cool. And then they had a couple other random movies. I'm a sucker for thrillers. So I also saw Welcome to the Punch and Trance, which were both, okay. I'm pretty sure they were both lower budget movies, at least compared to something like Iron Man 3. But for what they were decent. But yeah, even, like, for instance, okay, so this is, we're skipping ahead now to after I got to Tokyo. And where I left you was after, I believe after I bought a Pocari Sweat from the vending machine. And I had my bus ticket in hand and everything, and then I went to get on the bus. And everyone was extremely helpful. They took my bag from me and loaded it on there for me. After I got on the bus, they were helpful. I got a good seat and everything. And then when the bus was leaving, both employees, both the ticket carrier and then the baggage handler outside, both bowed like, I'd say probably 70 degrees or so. It was a really steep bow, which is very polite, the entire time until the bus was gone. And that's just something I've seen over and over and over again. There's a lot of bowing, and it's extremely polite. I mean, you figure at an American retail store, the employee might say, "Thanks for coming in," or something, and that's the most you'll get. You get so much more than that here. It's the customer service. I can't explain how good it is. And I mean, you can talk to anybody, and they'll tell you how good it is. But yeah, that's my experience. However, then skipping ahead from yesterday, I got moved into my homestay, met my homestay family, etc. I'm actually in a spare room right now. They actually had, or still have, a couple students from their last homestay. So our rooms are still occupied. I actually have a roommate as well, a homestay roommate. And both our rooms are currently occupied, so I'm in an extra room at the moment. So pardon the dust. But met them, that was awesome. I keep looking away from the camera. I should stop doing that. It probably looks really weird. But skipping ahead to today, I went to school for the first time. I sat through probably 6 hours of orientation. That happened. However, on the way there, we were just on the tail end of rush hour. Like, it wasn't rush hour, but it wasn't empty. And yeah, the trains are pretty packed. They aren't kidding when they say they squish you onto those trains, and they have train people pushers and stuff. Luckily, we didn't need a people pusher to get me on the train. However, myself and my backpack were definitely touching everybody around me, as were sardines in this train. It was really interesting. Luckily, I don't have to ride the train for very long. However, it's very easy to think from America that those videos that you see online are just kind of sensationalist videos, like, oh, that happened one time and it went viral and now everybody thinks that's how it is. No, that's definitely how it actually is. There is an unreal amount of people here. And I mean, I could theorize it in my head beforehand. However, now that I've actually seen it with my own eyes, it has to be seen to be understood, truly. However, seeing that to understand it, it really gives you perspective on. I always thought it was kind of weird how many vending machines there were everywhere in Japan when I was in America. It was like, wow, that's weird. That's so different than America. America, we have them a couple places. And then I got here. And then pretty much the moment I saw a vending machine, I understood. There's just so many people here. If everybody had to stand in line for something at a store, you'd be standing in line for hours. The vending machines are there out of necessity more than anything. There's so many people here, you have to have them everywhere so that everybody can get the things they need to survive. Whatever that might be. Whether it's, I mean, there's vending machines for food, coffee, drinks. There's outside the front of my school, literally right in front of my school, there's a vending machine that sells beer. Hey! But, yeah, it's necessity more than anything is what it is. And it's amazing to me how I didn't understand that at all when I was in America. However, it took me 5 seconds to understand it once I got here. And that it's just kind of testament to me how important actually going somewhere is to understanding the culture. You can study it all you want, but there are things that you just cannot possibly understand until you've been there. And I've only been here 24 hours, and I feel like I've understood so much more already. There's a lot to understand. Also, the public railway and the public transit system here is amazing. I never ever ride public transit. Pardon my dust for a sec. I'm grabbing a thing so I can show it to you. I never rode public transit in America, especially Seattle, because Seattle public transit sucks. However, here it's really convenient and really inexpensive. I have this little card. It's a Suica card. Suica means watermelon. Interestingly enough, I guess it's not ironic at all, but it is green. And this card is like a near-field communication, kind of like a Skylanders figurine, I suppose. And so it just stays in my wallet. Let me get it back in here. So right now it's in my wallet, and now my wallet is closed. And all I have to do is pull this out and put my entire wallet on a little scanner. And it scans my Suica card, and I have it loaded up with money for the train. And it deducts money automatically. I think how it works is it probably tracks my location in and my location out, if I had to guess. I'm not entirely sure how it determines, because basically you scan it on entrance and you scan it on exit, and that's the only 2 times you scan it. So the only way I can think of that they track it is by doing that, where you enter versus where you exit, and calculate the distance and the amount you're charged in between. But it's extremely convenient, and American public transit could learn a lot from the stuff here. I mean, like, I loathed public transit in America. I've been riding public transit here for 24 hours, and I love it. It's so good. So that's important. And yeah, I've been drinking a lot of tea. I mean, how can you not here in Japan? But yeah, I have not found. I did find my homestay family's, like, the parents' daughter lives here, actually, and she was kind enough to take myself and my roommate out and about to the local mall, which is pretty local. And there's a place there that sells takoyaki, and I didn't have any today because we were out right before dinner, so we came back and ate immediately, and I just ate, and now I came up here and I'm making this. It's currently 9:45 p.m. on the 22nd right now, which means in Seattle it is 5:45 in the morning on today. It's kind of weird that I've experienced my whole day of the 22nd already, and people in Seattle are just beginning theirs. Life from the future isn't very interesting, by the way. I don't have any good wisdom to impart to you or anything. But yeah, I think that's about everything that happened in my life in the last 2 days. I took some footage from when my homestay family, from when she took us out to the mall, so hopefully I'll splice some of that in here somewhere. But yeah, this is a little bit different. It's more of like things I've learned and things I've seen, but hopefully that's still interesting to you. So, until next time, whenever that might be, when I have more things to say, I suppose. Thank you guys so very much for watching this, and I hope you're having a fantastic day.